Hello friends and welcome to another video. Whoa. It's a great way to start. Hello friends and welcome to another video. And as you have probably figured out from the title, this one's going to be a little bit different than the usual, but it's something I've wanted to talk about for a while. Now, I do want to note that if there's any extraneous noise as such, it's because I have the window open. I'm quite warm at the moment, and yeah, I need to have the window open. And it's definitely going to be quieter than the fan I have on my desk. So yeah, I apologize for any distracting noises that may be coming from out there. Okay. Like I said, I have been thinking about doing this video for a while. I've been thinking about the topic for a while. And what's been stopping me has been, what could I really say? What could I express that hasn't already been expressed thoroughly and repeatedly? What could I possibly add to the conversation? And I think in a funny way that came to be a sign that maybe I do need to talk about it, in that the self-deprecation, the I'm not good enough feelings are kind of part and parcel with depression, at least in my experience of it. So why not talk about it? And if you've been following the blog for a while, it's always been very important to me to be open about my experiences with mental health. It's made a world of difference to me in the past, just knowing that I'm not alone on various levels, for various reasons, for various things and circumstances and whatnot. I can't even tell you one thing specific off the top of my head right now. It's mostly just, I remember not necessarily the circumstances years on, but the experience of going, me too. That's me too. And so, yeah, I guess in the end, it's not me sitting here wanting to tell you something profound, because I don't know that I have anything profound to say. What I do have to say is, in the last few weeks, this year has been tough, but in the last few weeks, I have been dealing with a very deep and at times suffocating depression. And I want to talk about that because I feel like I'm someone who can sit here and make a video, but there may be someone out there sitting, having similar feelings and going through similar things, and they can't make a video. And so if by some will of the universe that person is able to see this video and go, me too, to have that moment, to have that brief but truly unique sense of relief that comes with knowing you're not alone, then it really makes everything worth it. So here I am talking about depression. My response to a lot of things is humor, so please forgive me. I'm not actually trying to be flippant about the subject. I have made it absolutely no secret that 2019 has been a really rough year for me and for Wanderer. Right from the get-go. I've talked about it here on YouTube. I have Instagrammed it. I've probably Instagrammed it a lot because Instagram is my go-to social media of choice. And yeah, it's been a very hard year. But the one thing that I found a little bit perplexing for a while is that it's been in the last few weeks when things have actually been improving, circumstance-wise, that my depression has actually been getting worse. And it was very confusing to me, and it actually compounded, I think this is the word I'm looking for. It compounded those feelings of, well, things are getting better, so why is my headspace getting worse? And that's one of, sorry, there's going to be a lot of hand waving, and I'm probably going to bump the mic a few times, so lots of apologies. So that was very contradictory to me, and I'm like, what's going on in my head? And what I eventually came to realize is that when a thing is happening, you often cling to whatever there is to cling to. You hold tight, you find some sort of autopilot, no matter what that is, and you find that status and you try to stay there and you try to maintain it, because in the end, most often we just try to survive. We just try to get through the thing that is happening. And I've found that in the past few weeks, I got the good news that my personal condition is regressing, and I'm stepping away from I'm moving away from that higher statistic of getting cancer, and Wanderer is getting better, and our dogs are getting better, and our cat is getting, and like things are improving. And so I was clinging to whatever it is that was, whatever that status was, while dealing with all the things. And now that I don't have to cling as much as I may like to maintain some sort of status quo, my grip is loosening on that. And it's at that point where all of the feelings that that hadn't escaped, that had been boxed up and organized behind some sort of wall, I'm not clinging anymore. And that wall is coming down, and so all these feelings are coming through. And so to me, it makes sense that it's after the thing, after the event, that one actually experiences a worsening before it gets better. Now, I'm an optimist by nature. If you hadn't picked that up, in the end, I like to joke about being a born pessimist. I'm type B negative blood, so born pessimist. Haha, blood type joke. Anyway, but I am an optimist, so I do try to believe that things will get better. But yes, that's what I'm trying to say. It makes sense that it's after the thing that... Now, I probably should have prefaced this entire video by saying I am not medically certified. I am not properly trained. I only got a couple years into my psychology degree before the bank decided that they didn't want to give me student loans anymore, and so that disappeared. Yeah, so I am not... These are just my personal experiences and opinions. So I find that while circumstances have been improving, it's just been really hard to even barely function sometimes lately. And yeah, maybe it's not useful for me to be sharing these experiences, but I do hope that maybe it will be. And I guess my experience, at least in this swing of depression, have been what I've been calling the Voices 3. I'm an author, I can't help it. I always try to package things more pleasantly. Even my villains I package more pleasantly, and this time my villains in my mental health state are the Voices 3. So the Voices 3 for me are sometimes external, they come from other people, and sometimes, more often in this case, they are internal. But yeah, they can go either way. And voice one asks me, what do you have to be sad about? Now, other people have it worse is thrown around so much, and it was other people have it worse is something I used for a long time to punish myself, and old habits die hard, and it comes back to haunt me in the dark moments, this saying, other people have it worse. And at this particular point in my life, this voice is saying, what do you have to be sad about? You have seagreenzines. You can make videos. You can put them on YouTube. People send you mail. You write your opinions online and people actually seem to like it. Do you know how many people would love to have that? Would love to be able to give their opinion and it actually, hold some water. And yes, this is what the voice says in my life, in my head. And yeah, what do you have to complain about? And with that, I have learned the value of saying things even if you don't feel them. If it's a mental voice saying, what do you have to feel sorry about? Or sorry, what do you have to feel sad about? I have a few things to respond with, and I try to get them to be automatic. I may not feel them. I may not believe them at the time. I may believe the voice at the time, but if I can get things to be automatic, then I feel like I'm making some sort of progress. And mainly what I have to feel sad about is my lack of serotonin. When the emotional is muddy and foggy and hard to deal with, attack with the logical. And the logical is I'm lacking a bit of serotonin up in my noggin right now, and that's not a great thing. So voice number one, what do you have to be sad about? Logic says my lack of serotonin. It's a bummer. And I'm saying that, I'm throwing this out here like it's some sort of easy flippant thing. It's really not. Because I know people have it worse, and I know how good I have it compared to a lot of other people, and it's hard to put that aside. It is hard to acknowledge your own pain and give yourself validity, especially if you grew up in a situation where you weren't given that. When you, from the get-go, did not have the training and experience to acknowledge and have your own feelings validated, then this is, I'm a 30 sorry, am I 30? I'm 30 something. I'm a 30 something year old woman trying to figure out how to soothe my inner 4-year-old. And some people might say, oh, you fluffy la snowflake. Well, they can just, pardon me, but they can just piss off, okay? Because if your mother or father didn't parent you, if you weren't parented, yeah, it takes until you're in your 20s and in your 30s and 40s and beyond and stuff like that. Sometimes it does. Age doesn't matter. But yes, sometimes it takes you getting to the adult age before you can figure out how to be parented. Because you have to figure out how to do it for yourself. So anybody who's like, fluffy snowflake, you can piss off if you're going to call me a fluffy snowflake. I don't care. Snowflakes are beautiful, so I don't know. I'm getting feisty, so calming down. So and I got way off track. So yes, you can have it good and have it bad at the same time. You could, be on your floaty in your swimming pool, drinking your pina colada, and you lack the serotonin to, I don't know, crack a smile. Then that's fine. Okay? So I am way off track, and this is going to be a long video. I thought it might be short, but it's going to be long. But anyway, so that's voice one. What I say to voice son, what do you have to be sad about? I have my lack of serotonin. I have other things, but right now that's just logic. Goodness. Can you tell I didn't really think a lot about this video before I put it up? So voice is 3. Voice 2. Smile. It'll get better. Another one that's going to make me a bit feisty, but I'll try to behave myself. Smile. It will get better. This falls into the, if it's an external voice telling you that, if somebody can't smile, it'll get better. Just like you don't owe anyone a hug or a handshake or anything like that. You don't owe anyone a smile. You don't. It is your body, they're your muscles, it's your smile. You can distribute it or not distribute it as you please. And so this of the voices 3, this is the easiest for me to get rid of, because most of the time for me, it's internal. So I just go, oh, and just don't, because, this one's, like I said, this one's easier for me to deal with. Nobody knows that it's going to get better. Nobody knows if it's going to get worse. Nobody knows any of the things. So the whole smile, it'll get better, valid is just inarguable. Is that the word I was trying to go for? So the whole smile, it will get better. Nobody knows the future unless you are a time traveler, in which case, please take me to your TARDIS. Please. I'll be good. I'll bring popcorn. Yes. So smile, it'll get better. You don't know anyone to smile. And it may sound a little bit backwards, but I hope this comes across clearly. You don't even owe yourself a smile. You don't owe anybody a smile. Think of cats. Cats are beloved, and cats don't act like they owe anybody anything. 'Cause, boom. So embrace your inner kitty, and don't give out smiles if you don't want to, because if somebody's telling you smile because it'll get better, just tell them, I'll smile when it gets better, because that's when I can be arsed to smile. Anyway. So, the voice is 3. And this, this is the hard one. This is probably, I would have said that other people have it worse would be the hardest for me specifically, but this one kind of encompasses that as well. So, voice is 3. Third is the voice that tells you deserve it. As if you've said or done at any point in your life anything to deserve the current state, and you don't. Now this one is a hard one to learn, and it's one that I'm still learning, and it's a process, because you don't get to generalize everything either. It's not you don't deserve that sort of. It took me a long time to process that I didn't deserve the abuse that I survived when I was younger. It took me a long time to get to the mind frame that I hadn't done this or that, or, even if I had done a thing that's not. Anyway, that's getting a little bit specific into my past, and I don't know what your past is, and I want this to be as helpful, if at all possible, to as many people as possible. So if you have number 3 of the voices 3 saying that you deserve it, you don't. Logically, as I said before, I'm lacking the serotonin, and that's it. And who deserves to start out with a chemical imbalance? Nobody does. Nobody starts out with deserving anything in particular. And this is when I want to have a funny sort of response to this voice, but it's As I said, it's something I struggle with myself. This is the hardest voice for me to deal with. And all I can do is sit here and say, you don't deserve this, okay? Your happiness does not come at a cost. You do not have to pay in depression. You do not have to pay in tears or sadness, or you do not have to give penance to get good things in your life. For the majority of my life, I thought my happiness was directly related to bad things happening to other people. So I thought if bad things just kept happening to me, I could somehow protect the other people in my life. And yeah. Oh, believe me, I've got a cluster I'm still untangling from my early life. Anyway, but you don't deserve it. You don't. And I wish I could tell you something more potent, more something. But I just want you to know, if you're experiencing this, you do not deserve it. And that's all I can say. But if you want to cut out those few seconds of me saying you do not deserve it and play it over and over again, that's totally cool, because if that's what it takes for you to start feeling it, then you do you, boo. You go ahead, because you do not deserve depression. You do not deserve anxiety. You do not deserve mental illness. Okay? You don't. So I will wrap up this rather strange, unplanned, weird conversation type video, whatever it is that I'm doing here, and hope that, I can scrounge something out of it, because like I said, in the end, if I can just make one person feel less alone, then it's completely worth it. And making this video has been good for me on a number of levels as well. It has been self-serving in that I have been struggling to do nearly anything in my life, just because the depression has been so much. And so, yes, this, in a way, this video has been kind of a therapy for me as well. I did want it to be inspiring, but I don't know that in this day and age, with current attention spans, a 20 plus, maybe even 30-minute video is snappy enough to be inspiring. But I want to wrap up with a quote I've decided. It's not my quote. When I was at my first year of uni, and it was another time in my life when the depression was hitting so hard and I didn't know how to be. I started seeing a counselor on campus, and I made the remark that I hated crying. I hated it. And she actually wrote down this quote, and I have it right here in one of my scrapbooks. I've saved it after all these years, the actual piece of paper she wrote on, and I thought I'd share this quote and hope that it means something to you like it means to me. So here we go. There is a sacredness in tears. They are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are the messengers of overwhelming grief, of deep contrition, and unspeakable love. Washington Irving. So on that note, I will wrap up this whatever it is, and say that whether you are experiencing depression, anxiety, another mental illness, another symptom, anything, just know that you aren't alone. That you do have you have the right to feel what you feel. Your feelings are valid. Nobody knows when it's going to get better, so you don't owe anyone a smile. And just know that you do not deserve it. And I will get back to the regularly scheduled programming, and maybe if I do this again in the future, I'll actually plan it out a bit more. So until next time, I was going to say spread a little sunshine, but how about until next time, do whatever it is that you need to do.